to me is like the 1940s, 50s westerns, because an audience at that time, they hadn't seen that. And what we want to do is take an audience to a new world, yet still tell them a very personal story and something that they can relate to. And I think that it allows us, and it's big cinema. This is a film that I encourage audiences to watch on a big screen with great sound, because they will really get their money's worth.
They're firing on survivors.
Well, I worked with him, it's his story, but any film that I'm working on, this story was there, but of course I worked on it with him and helped, and but it was his characters and his world that he created. To go to Iceland, and when you go, when I was there, the sun never set in Iceland when I was there, and you look at those locations and the way the film, it just has such a haunting beauty. And bubble ship and down on the ground, it was so much fun to shoot there. Yes. The house was amazing. When you look at those clouds, what Joe did was, in the tower, Sky Tower, basically Joe took cameras and went to the top of a volcano and photographed all the cloud formations and the sunrises and sunsets. So when we're on the Sky Tower, we then had big projectors, and he projected the clouds onto the screen, and that's what lit us. So that's in camera, that's not CGI. Yes, all of that stuff on the Sky Tower, yeah, it's so beautiful. And he just has that kind of aesthetic that's incredible. When you look at what Space Odyssey 2001 meant, at that time in the world, no one had seen space. It was always black and white on television. So what he created, he was very unique, and quite brilliant, and I enjoyed working with him very much.
I love science fiction, but it always depends on the story. It's always the story that captures you. You can't just like all science fiction movies. And what I found great about this one is that it was particular. It was a different story. I had never read it. Well, first I read the script. I've never read anything like it. I thought it was very original, new ideas. There were, of course, tons of weird creatures, but also the most important thing that I liked is that it was full of romance and love. You prepare, yes, certain roles require physical training, and in a different way. For example, you see, for this one, I just had to go to the gym and get in shape, look stronger. That's why in a way, it's a great job, because we learned so many different skills. Yeah, there was no physical preparation required, but it was all mental. I had to read 3 books for that, and Anna Karenina, Brother Karamazov, and The Idiot. So it was a completely different story, and each experience is so unique. You see, in this movie we saw amazing landscapes. We went to Iceland, which is absolutely magnificent.
This wasn't the first American film I did, but it was certainly the biggest budget movie that I've done, and we're always searching for the truth. Joe created an environment for us in which we could be free, we could play, we could discover all sorts of things that we had no idea were living in the script when we were sitting down and talking about it for months on end, until we actually started playing it and stepping into the shoes of our characters. We had no real idea where it could go, and I think it went somewhere extraordinary. I think the film's so unique. I think she's a strong character. The character is strong in the piece, certainly, because I think all of the characters are elementally very strong. But I think Vicar is actually a very vulnerable, open wound in many ways, but and so fragile, wanting really to capture the love of her life and to keep him, and never to let him go. And it's a horrible thing every time he steps foot outside of the Sky Tower. Sets foot outside of the Sky Tower. She has this inexplicable feeling he may never return. And so living with that tension it can be wearing.